We just call it pompier. We don't say all that fancy word. And first of all, in my country, before the pompier come to you, your house will be long gone. It's your neighbor who will help you to take up the fire.
Hello! I think some of our words are similar. I can't think of one right now.
Arachnophobia. Arachnophobia is similar. In Portuguese, it's arachnophobia.
Yeah, we got arachnophobia.
Jeans.
Jeans. What about television?
Television.
Television.
There you go.
I'm sure we'll find more.
We use a lot of combining. More the people that lives in the north of Mexico, because we're really close to the border. We most of the time speak Spanglish. Or we convert parking. For example, parking, instead of saying in the south of Mexico, they will say estacionate, but the north they will say parqueate. Parking, parqueate, we mix it.
We do a lot of this as well, with English words in Brazil, but when it comes to games especially. For example, up your level in a game, we say upar. So upar a level. So we also have a lot of Portuguese.
I can't think of any word right now, but I know we use some English word. We just change the pronunciation. We just use it. Like she say television, telephone, cell phone.
But I feel like I don't know if it's the word or it's a name, it's an invention, you know? Because somebody made the television, so it's not translated.
Arachnophobia is not.
I mean, it's a scientific term.
True.
So that's why I guess it's translating. For us, it's kind of bad to use English.
Oh, really?
It's called an anglicism. Yes. So it's if you, for example, in school or something, in those kind of settings, it's not bad, but it's kind of, familiar. You shouldn't be using that in a higher level kind of French environment.
I feel like this happens way more frequent nowadays, especially in working environments, feedback, let's do a meeting, and we use these words that are keywords in the working environment instead of using the Brazilian word. For example, let's do a meeting. Instead of saying vamos ter uma reunião, we would say vamos ter uma meeting. So that happens a lot nowadays. Only those keywords. I can really only think of two scenarios, work related and games.
In the USA, we say fire station.
In Colombia, we say bomberos. In Mexico, we also say los bomberos.
In Brazil, we would say corpo de bombeiros.
In Canada, some places say fire hall, but in Quebec, les pompiers. But I don't know where we call their house.
Really? Well, what do you call it?
We just call it pompier. We don't say all that fancy word.
I've never heard of a place specifically for where the pompiers, where the firemen dwell. We just say, oh, on appelle les pompiers, just call the firefighters. There's no specific fire station or fire hall in Quebec. We just say les pompiers. If there's a word, please let me know. But from now, I don't know that word.
And first of all, in my country, before the pompier come to you, your house will be long gone. It's your neighbor who will help you to take up the fire. So
I know! La caserne de pompiers. La caserne. La caserne. It's funny, it's caserne.
Cave for the
firefighters.
I mean, if we were talking about the fire station, we would say corpo de bombeiros. Or estação do corpo de bombeiros. But just corpo de bombeiros already means the place. So bombeiros is just the firefighters and corpo de bombeiros would be the place.
In the USA, we say cell phone.
In Colombia, we say celular. In Mexico, we also say celular or teléfono.
In Brazil, we say celular.
In Quebec, we say téléphone cellulaire or téléphone.
In AD, we just say telephone. Simple. Telephone.
I think the only different thing is when you say cellular, in America anyway, in the US, we think that's the capability of the phone. Is it a cellular phone? Connect to the cells, and then even on the settings in an iPhone, you have this thing that says cellular, and that's where you see the information about who is your provider, what company gives you cell service. So we wouldn't actually call the phone cellular.
If I'm not mistaken, we say most of us, we say cell phone related to being not the same size as the big old phones, but being a piece of it, being the smaller version of it, like a cell.
In the USA, we say respect.
In Colombia, we say respeto, respetar. In Mexico, we say respeto.
In Brazil, we say respeito.
In Quebec, we say respect.
In Haiti, we say respect.
Pretty much the similar. Yeah. It feels like he was chopping up a part of the word like after some time though. It was respect. Respecto, respecto, respect, respect, respect. You see, like, cut. The end of it got lost.
In the USA, we say sun.
In Colombia, we say sol. In Mexico, we say also sol.
In Brazil, we say sol.
In Quebec, we say soleil.
In Haiti, we say soleil.
Like Circo de tu Soleil.
Now it makes sense. Like, it's similar, but I never stopped to think about it. I was just like, okay, I want to see the Cirque du Soleil. And I was like, The three of us is just a S-O-L.
We have E-I-L.
Yes, but in Creole, we just have L-E, the letter E, and Y, soleil. It's kind of like a French, but we use more like the French.
In the USA, we say friend.
In Colombia, we say amigo or pana. In Mexico, we can say amigo, mi compa.
In Brazil, we say amigo, but it can be parça, mano, Joe, truta, man. It can be anything.
In Quebec, we say, in French, normal French, we say ami, but then of course there's slang, so they use the word chum, which also can be like boyfriend.
Wait, is that, maybe America got that? Because
Oh,
that's
it
like
sounds like
old.
It's really old, like chum or chum de fille, which is like girlfriend, but chum.
In Haiti, we use zami, zamim, but also those days they can say patnem, like my partner, but it's like two men, like patnepam. The Z, we have the Z, and also some part of Haiti, they pronounce it different, like they say zamim, but there's other people who say zamam.
Chaman.
I mean, like maybe because so many people in the USA speak Spanish now, but we also just say amigo sometimes. In the USA, we say refrigerator.
In Colombia, we say nevera. In Mexico, we say refrigerador.
In Brazil, we say geladeira, but there's also refrigerador.
In Quebec, we say réfrigérateur.
In Creole, we say frigidaire.
Sounds like freezing, like frigidaire. Frigidaire. We also use the word refrigerador, but in Colombia, I think like we use more nevera.
I think geladeira and nevera are closer. The same thing, like we say geladeira more often, and refrigerador, it's really hard to hear someone saying it.
English, Spanish word.
I could read it, like I can't find sometimes in a book or something. Some people may say it, but we're thinking about our house, we're gonna say like geladeira.
Maybe it's the same situation. Like honestly, we don't really say refrigerator, but we say fridge.
Yeah.
You know?
For us, it's refrigerador. Like that's the word, like basic. If you say heladera, maybe or nevera. Sorry, nevera. It's like the one that you bring to a picnic and you put like keep it like warm, like a cooler. Or we can also, some people in Mexico also say like la nevera. It's where it's like the ice and you put like the ice cream in there. The refrigerador, it's everything. And the fridge is like it's la nevera, it's like the part that it's like freezer.
For me, that would be the refrigerador. Like for us, refrigerador is the top part, which is like when we make ice, and geladeira is everything, which would be the freezer, or refrigerador or freezer, both.
In my household, we use frigidaire, but then I'm wondering, does everyone in Quebec use frigidaire? I'm not sure. But there's also like more like the Frencher way, which is frigo. Frigo is rare to hear in Quebec, I would think, maybe.
We just took the English word and we put our word on it. They say fridge, we say frigidaire, and that's all.
In the USA, we say big.
In Colombia, we say grande. In Mexico, we say grande or grandote.
In Brazil, we say grande.
Au Québec, we say grand.
In Haiti, we say gros.
I think that would be hard for me to guess. Because everything else is kind of easy, because in English we also have the word grand, which means giant, big. So like that's easier to guess, but I would not be able to guess the Creole version.
I wouldn't be able either.
Because that's why I asked like what kind of big, because gros for us is more large and grand for us is more tall, big. So like un grand café, but you don't say un gros café, that's like, but un grand café is like tall. Yeah, if you say somebody is grand, tall, then you're like, yeah, but if you say somebody's big, gros, that's like, oh.
In the USA, we say ear.
In Colombia, we say oreja. Also in Mexico we say oreja.
In Brazil, we say orelha.
In Quebec, we say oreille.
In Haiti, we say oreilles.
There we go.
That's so interesting.
Pretty similar. It's almost
Oreja, oreja, orelha.
Oreille.
Zorre.
we just add like Z in it.
The Z extra, but pretty much the same, except ear.
Except ear.
It was fun. I was not expecting like
So
to
similar.
be so no, but like everything is quite similar. I could expect that from French and like from Spanish, but no. Oh my! You both had so much differences that like I didn't expect it. I thought it was gonna be more similar than it was.
To me, it sounds similar.
It sounds similar, but they're like way more different than I was expecting. That's what I mean.
It's still enough to make it its own language.
I feel like the difference between you two, for me at least, kind of feel like the difference between Portuguese and Spanish in a way.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Like you can guess what each other are talking, but like the words are not really the same.
Especially with the accents, like how about your R is different.
Yeah,
That's her Z.
Today we figured out the word difference about the American countries.
If you like the video, please like it, subscribe, and comment down below.
And we'll see you soon.
Bye!